and welcome explorers to another awesome virtual explorer experience. I'm Mike from the Balboa Park Cultural Partnership and the Explorer Office, and we are excited today to bring to you the Mingei International Museum for the Explorer experience. This experience is exclusively for you. We have a video that talks about the Maneki Neko collection, they're beckoning cats from Japan. That the Mingei has, and it's actually on display right now at the Japanese Friendship Garden. And so we were able to record a little tour with Christine, the Deputy Director and Chief Curator, as well as Emily, the Collections Manager from Mingei. And then after that, we'll get into the fun part of the craft exercise of making our own Maneki Neko finger puppet. So that'll be really great. And then the question and answer live with Christine. Let's play this video.
Hi, my name is Christine Hietbrink, and I'm the Deputy Director and Chief Curator at Mingei International Museum. Welcome to the Japanese Friendship Garden, where we have 70 Maneki Nekos from our collection on view for an exhibition. This exhibition, Maneki Neko, will be on view through November 29th, and it's been wonderful to have a place to do a pop-up exhibition to feature our collection during our time of closure. We've had numerous pop-up exhibitions happening throughout the city, and this is one of just many. It's my pleasure to introduce one of my colleagues from Mingei, Emily Brown, who's our collection manager. Emily, can you tell us a little bit about what you do at Mingei?
Hi everyone at home, I'm Emily Brown. I am the collections manager at Mingei International Museum. As a collections manager, I'm responsible for the safe housing, the location tracking, and generally just the safety of the collection as a whole. We have over 25,000 objects in our collection that range from large furniture cabinets to oversized sculpture, and then down to miniature flatware and dolls and toys. We even have a life-size, fully furnished yurt in our collection.
Wow, well, Emily, you certainly have a big role around the museum, don't you? Well, you know, the idea for doing a Maneki Neko exhibition was really an easy one. Maneki Neko have been a fan favorite of the museum for quite a while. We've exhibited them several times over the years. We did an exhibition at the San Francisco airport. So it was really exciting to have the chance to bring these Maneki Neko cats from our collection back to Balboa Park. You know, the lucky cat, the cat with his arm raised in the air, is a good luck charm. It's a symbol of good fortune, and the cat is actually beckoning that good luck, that good fortune. So we were really excited to our members, the general public, to bring these cats back on view. We only have 70 or so in this exhibition, but we have over 125 in our collection. Emily, can you tell us a little bit about what it was like to install the cats here at the Japanese Friendship Garden?
Well, during our collections move, most of the Maneki Neko were packed together, so that made finding them and getting them prepared for transport a little bit easier. As Christine mentioned, there was also an exhibition at the San Francisco International Airport, so those cats were also packed and ready for transport here. Once we arrived, I worked in tandem with our registrar and our exhibition and collections technician to unpack, condition report, and then place each cat in the display cases. The Maneki Neko range in medium from solid wood or stone to hollow, delicate painted porcelain. We made sure the cases were clean before we placed them inside. We also made sure the temperature and humidity levels were at a safe level for these kinds of objects. One challenge about working in another space other than your own is that you have to be fully prepared for any sort of problem that might pop up during installation. Since we can't just run downstairs and grab a screwdriver or a piece of mylar or whatever you might need during your installation, we have to be prepared. So we would bring a lot of things with us just to ensure that we could get everything installed in the time that's allotted for us.
Thank you, Emily, for sharing some of the issues that went into installing this exhibition. Well, we were talking earlier about the meaning behind the Maneki Neko, or the lucky beckoning cats, and I'd love to talk a little bit more about the history, the tradition behind these beckoning cats. The idea of a good luck fortune has a long history in Japan. Charms meant to bring good luck, happiness, wealth, are a common occurrence, and you see Maneki Neko in restaurants, in businesses, and they were really, still to this day, part of the merchant class and part of the merchant culture. And as we said earlier, the idea of the cat either beckoning its right or its left paw is trying to beckon and encourage customers or encourage good fortune into the home or business. There's great variety to the Maneki Neko in material, as Emily was talking about, but also in size and color and even shape. Some of the colorful cats that you see in the case behind me show some of the variety. The black cats actually represent safety and security, as well as white cats. They symbolize protection. Pink cats beckon love. And gold cats, of course, symbolize and welcome wealth. There's a lot of variety behind the types of paws in the terms of is it a tall, skinny paw? How tall is the paw raised? Which paw is raised? And there's a lot of back and forth on the meaning. It's not quite the same in every source. There's some references that talk about the right paw encouraging wealth into a business or a home. Some businesses are encouraged with nighttime clientele, daytime clientele. It's really a great mix. The large cats, also on display in this case, were probably meant to celebrate the opening of an inn. They're also made of glazed stoneware, and they're probably made from a mold. They're very almost similar, except they've been glazed in different patterns and slightly different techniques. These large cats were probably placed outside of an inn, and that's why they're so large and heavy. They're actually hard to transport. Right, Emily?
Thanks, Christine. There definitely were some challenges, but it was fun getting back into the mix of things and getting our hands on the collection again. One of my favorite Maneki Neko in this exhibition is Hatsu Tatsu-san, who kind of gives you the vibe of an evil kitty space overlord, which is the exact opposite of most of the cute and cuddly Maneki Neko that you'll find in this exhibition.
Well, thank you, Emily. Thank you, Japanese Friendship Garden. Thank you, Balboa Park Explorers, and see you later.
This is the activity part, and we get to make our own right now. So this will be really fun. You'll need some things. Felt in different colors, potentially. Thread and needle, or if you're like me and really don't know how to sew, some fabric glue, some scissors, some markers are great, especially in different colors if you want to color on top of it too. And then sent out in the registration for this was a template for making your own cat. right, I really enjoyed making mine. I'm gonna share what it looks like. I deviated from the instructions a little bit because I wanted a really big paw. How about that? And it's pink, which means we learned from the video that this one symbolizes love. And then shout out to our producer, Zia. She made this one very, very cute. We would love to see the ones that you make. And you can also post them on social media and use hashtag Balboa Park Explorer. And we'll pick those up and we'll collect those images and we'll share them out with the Explorer newsletter next time around. So now we get to kick off the Q&A with Christine live from your home.
Hi.
Hey, welcome. So we do have a couple of questions that have come in so far. The first one was what is the oldest cat that you have? And one that I had was similar, and that is like, how old are some of these just in general?
Right. Well, that's a really good question. We get asked that question a lot about our artworks. How old is it? And, sadly, there's no easy answer. Part of what curators do is look at the style, maybe the material, maybe the way something was made to try to give it a date. And so we really think that for our cat collection, the oldest one might be about circa 1880. If something's made out of paper mache or if it's a very fine clay, it's easy to break. It's hard for those things to survive. So we think our oldest cat is probably about circa 1880.
That's very impressive. Anything that can last not just a long period of time, but travel around the world. That's pretty impressive. And another question, so we have a lot of regulars who watch these Explorer experiences. And one of the earlier experiences that we had was with one of the art museums. And when some of their collection is out on display for a period of time, they have to then store it for a very long time because of light sensitivities. Do these have some sort of light sensitivities or things that you guys have to manage or worry about?
That's such a good question, Mike. And if Emily were here, she would have a lot to say. But yeah, everything is selected very intentionally, and we intentionally did not bring some of the most fragile cats to the exhibit hall. We have a couple made out of paper mache, which it's just very sensitive, right? It's just, you don't even want to touch it too frequently. But some of those big chunky cats, those big stone ones, they're hard to hurt, right? They were probably outside for quite a while. So there's a lot of thought that goes into the selecting of objects for whatever exhibition. The wood cats, you actually do have to be a little bit careful about wood and control the temperature. One of our cats has a pretty severe crack. And with temperature fluctuations going from really hot to really cold, you can actually make a crack kind of increase in size. So you want to keep things kind of nice, level, even temperature, not a lot of fluctuations. But the Japanese Friendship Garden actually has a very nice climate control system. When we were there for our filming the other day, they had some humidifiers in there. You bring in dehumidifiers depending on what the climate needs are. So there's a lot of science that actually goes into being good stewards of our collection.
And you actually were talking about the big ones. And one of our questions was, does the size of the cat have significance?
Well, that's a really good question. And I think that the size of the cats definitely is going to inform the function. Some of the cats in the exhibition are actually banks. There's a little, slot cut in the back. So for some of these, they were meant to be bringing wealth into the owner's home. Some of the larger cats probably also, that depended on their function. If they were outside a restaurant, that clearly makes those special. The wood cats were actually a little bit of a mystery in my mind. I'm not a Japanese art expert. And I reached out to a couple of scholars, and it seems like those wood cats might have been used as molds to actually make perhaps like a paper mache cat. So there's a great variety. And of course, you know, this collection came to the museum from a collector, from an individual woman who had been collecting these cats. And that's kind of a frequent occurrence at Mingei, at least. You know, we hear from these collectors that have amassed a wonderful collection, and for whatever reason, it's taking over their house. They've moved on to something else of interest. But the woman that collected all of these cats was really the one that, you know, it'd be fun to ask her a lot of questions, right? We do know which cat was the very first one, and it was actually a gift to her from her mother. That's kind of what started it, one of the black cats. I actually think we included that one in the show. But according to the collector, Billy Moffat, that was what she was just excited by, that the great variety, that they could be anything from a bank and very small to a very large one. She loved that variety. I mean, she even has bobblehead ones, if you can imagine that. Little Maneki Neko cats, and the heads just bobble. So she was having a lot of fun with her collecting, as well as kind of trying to be somewhat academic.
Yeah, the variety is pretty interesting, and you know, it brings a whole new discussion to the term cat lady for sure.
Good one.
Right? But in a very cool way.
Absolutely.
Like I love these things, and the ones that you see also that are animated are so fun. So another question. How many cats are in your collection? I think you had mentioned it in the video.
Yeah, and you know, I think I actually gave a wrong number in the video. I think we actually have about 150 cats. This individual collector, the crazy cat lady, she donated about 150. And then we've acquired a few from other donors along the way.
Yeah, this would be, I'm a cat person for the record, so this would be a collection I would absolutely love talking to this woman about. So there's a question that just came through asking really on the reopening, and the last part of that is, I miss it. So you have a lot of love out there for Mingei. So yeah, so what's the latest on the reopen?
Well, I thank you for the opportunity to give a quick update. And, you know, we've been closed for over 2 years. We are so ready to reopen, and we're making great progress. We have just finished some important roof work. You know, it's not the most exciting, but having to waterproof your roof is one of the most important things to an art museum. And so we've just gotten that behind us. We have got a little bit more heavy lifting to do with some engineering work, but we're truly in that kind of final phase. Buttoning up the interior, we've got ceilings going in, drywall almost complete. So it's really very exciting.
And as it gets closer and closer, the more anxious you get, right, to get back into the space?
Yeah, we're really excited, but it's going to be a new museum for us. It's going to be reimagined and reconfigured. So it's not going to be the same Mingei with just a new coat of paint. For those of you that are fans of Mingei, we're really excited. The library, which was formerly kind of on the lower level, open but kind of not open, is going to now be fully accessible. You're going to be able to go onto the terraces and look out over Plaza de Panama. We're going to have a bistro, a restaurant. It's just going to be really exciting, and we've got a lot of work ahead of us, but the staff has been working away really diligently for these last 2 years on the plans.
Yeah, one of my favorite things as a park employee were the mochas from the Mingei Cafe. So when you guys come back, looking forward to it. So another question, do you have other cat themed collections?
That's a really good question. It's interesting. We have an armadillo themed collection. We have a lot of horses. I think that, it's not that we have other cats in the collection, But I would say a majority of them are probably from our Chinese and Japanese collection. There's a lot of cat mythology in both those cultures. But I think the majority of the cats are definitely the Maneki Neko.
Yeah, they're so like cute, very endearing, right? And you gotta love that collection. So about 70 were on display here at Japanese Friendship Garden. Are the other ones going to rotate in at some time? Do you have plans maybe to have another one in the future, or is that still to be determined?
Right. Well, you know, when we've done exhibitions before, we've almost included every cat, and that's kind of fun. You just kind of get everybody together. I think that exactly. I think that for the Japanese Friendship Garden, they're gonna be on view through November, through the Thanksgiving holiday weekend, November 29th. And then I think we're just gonna pack everything up, and we've got to start moving the collection back to Balboa Park. So we're not going to do a rotation. You know, that's actually something that you can do to sometimes switch out items, bring in something new, but we're not going to do that this time around.
Yeah, you definitely have a big task ahead of you, moving back into the park, and certainly, you know, explorers definitely check out the collection. As Christine said, it's available to see at the Japanese Friendship Garden through the end of November. So we're going to close this up. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with the audience about anything that's going on with you guys, or any last thoughts from you?
Well, I mean, I have a trivia question for you, Mike, and the listeners out there.
Uh-oh.
So you know how you have like a school of fish so what is that word for cats? Does anybody, because of course the Mingei staff had to do the research to find out what that is, and I'm just wondering if anybody knows what it is.
Can someone put into the Q&A what they think a group of cats would be called? So as a former zoo employee, I know a lot of them, but you know, I never really found out the cat one, like a flamboyance of flamingos and a crash of rhinos.
Exactly.
Right? Nobody's putting it up there. I will answer a quick question, and it was, is the exhibition mindful of social distancing? Yes, the Japanese Friendship Garden and their walkthrough process is inclusive of the guidelines. All right, so you stumped people. Okay. What is a group of cats?
Clouder.
I've never heard such a, oh, Kristen came in. Kristen Bentz, thank you for Clouder.
Good job, Kristen.
Winner. If we had a prize. Somebody also wrote, I like meow of cats.
I know, that's more appropriate.
Meow would be awesome. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, any thing to share as far as upcoming things, or?
Well, you know, we have another exhibition at the Coronado Public Library, and you know, good question about being socially distanced, and absolutely. At the Japanese Friendship Garden, I think they're allowing 6 visitors into the exhibit hall at once. But as long as you have your mask, you're more than welcome to walk on in. But we have another exhibition at the Coronado Public Library that's called Around the World with Mingei International Museum. And at their beautiful space, we have 4 large cases that are devoted to different parts of the country, different parts of the world, and we just have beautiful objects from our collection on view in Coronado. So I just want to encourage people, if you want to get out, get some fresh air, look at some art, there are some opportunities out there.
Well, it's awesome that you guys are still out and about, and we absolutely miss having you in the park. So we're really looking forward to next year and you guys reopening. And yeah, and definitely thank you, Christine, and to the whole Mingei staff who helped put this on. And both Mingei members and explorers, thank you for joining us for this experience. And if you want to stay up to date on whatever's happening in the park, you can check out culturalpartnership.org/updates. And you can also get to that if you go to the balboapark.org website and just click on the little bar at the top that says updates. But you'll get to learn all about the places that are open, or things that might be open or closed at any given time. Yeah, and that's about it. So thank you again for sharing with us. And we can't wait to have more experiences. Have a wonderful afternoon, explorers. Goodbye. Thanks.